This morning, President Trump announced on Truth Social that he is nominating Kevin Warsh to be the next Fed chair when Jerome Powell's term is up in May. People have been reacting very positively to this choice, and investors all around the world seem happy about this. The dollar so far is having its best day since July. This signals that global investors believe that Kevin Warsh will keep the Fed independent, will not necessarily just do what President Trump wants. That's been a big worry of investors all around the world, especially because President Trump has been pushing really hard to cut interest rates really quickly. Interest rates right now are around 3.5%. President Trump has been calling for interest rates to be 1%. Now, if you have a credit card or want to buy a house, this probably sounds very appealing. And lowering interest rates can really boost the economy. It can also make inflation a lot worse, and inflation can take years and years to get under control. That is part of why Chair Powell has been quite slow and cautious when cutting interest rates. He has been prioritizing getting inflation back under control. This has frustrated President Trump, who's called him Jerome Too Slow Powell. And according to Chair Powell himself, it is part of what is motivating Donald Trump to launch a criminal investigation into Jay Powell over the cost of remodeling the Fed building. Powell said this was motivated by the president's frustration that he cannot control monetary policy. So the choice of Kevin Warsh is really interesting because Warsh, he has a lot of central bank experience. He was nominated by George W. Bush to be a Fed governor back in 2006. He's also known to have been quite instrumental in the bailout of Wall Street during the financial crisis. He's quite respected. He's also known for being what they call a hawk. In the world of the Federal Reserve and interest rates, there are hawks and doves. Hawks tend to be very focused on and worried about inflation. They tend to favor keeping interest rates higher for longer if it will take away the risk of inflation. Now, Warsh is known for being a hawk. Recently, however, he has criticized the central bank for moving too slowly. He has expressed that he thinks interest rates should be lower. Now, if confirmed, Warsh would start his tenure at the Federal Reserve in May. His term would go for 4 years. And during those 4 years, there's not much the president can do to get Warsh out of power. In fact, President Trump has lamented about this at Davos last week.
Problem is they change once they get the job. They do. They're saying everything I want to hear, and then they get the job. They're locked in for 6 years. They get the job, and all of a sudden, let's raise rates a little bit. I call them, sir, we'd rather not talk about this. It's amazing how people change once they have the job.
This is a story, by the way, that I wrote for Business Week about Warsh. There is a gift link in the bio. Check it out.